All right, last but not least is now scenario number 7. You have a spreadsheet that is structured as a report. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Um, so here is scenario number 7. Here's the spreadsheet. Okay, so here's the spreadsheet. Here's how it looks. And sometimes you might get this from a vendor. Sometimes you might get this out of a system, maybe an in-house system. But in any case, this is how the spreadsheet has been presented and provided to you. And you scratch your head and you're thinking, oh my goodness, the amount of work I have to do to clean this, to get it the right way. Um, so Monarch can help with that. All right, and let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so I will drag and drop the spreadsheet in here, and I'm gonna click yes for the work to bring it in with the worksheet design. And we're gonna do things here by the book. Okay, if you notice all the way down here, there's a little guide me button. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna click on guide me, and we'll do this together. It says, welcome to the guided trapping mode. We are here to help you extract your data as quickly and as easily as possible. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and click on. I mean, if you click on this, you can see all the different steps. We're not going to skip any. We're just going to go step by step. Okay, so we're going to go click on start. Okay, now it says select a detail row. All right, so a detail row represents one record of data. This information usually changes in some way between each complete record. So in this example, this represents the data. It's like the lowest level of detail. All right, so we click on line 21 as an example, and I'm using the January file, but it's the same with the February file. But I am using the January file, and I click on confirm row, and then what Monarch is doing. Well, I'll explain what Monarch does or Monarch is doing. Monarch is using logic. It's using rules. So it's studied the spreadsheet, and what it's doing is it's these little triangles represent the data, the cells that it's capturing, and then you'll notice one of these rows has a like a little triangle that has a purple, like a deep shade of blue, kind of purple. It's looking at that cell, right? It's looking at that cell and it's using the logic to say, okay, so in this example, it's probably, and we could look at it after when we're done, but it's probably looking at that cell and says, hey, this contains a number. Okay, and I could probably tell because it's capturing, picking up this line as well. So it's probably looking at this cell and saying, hey, it contains a number, and then any other row, any other information that's on that row, go ahead and capture it. Okay. All right, but let's keep going. All right, so now it says select the row that contains your column names and click apply headers. Okay, so line 20 has the headers for those. Excuse me. So go ahead and click on line 20, and then you want to click on apply headers. Okay, and there it is. So, all right, so far so good. Okay, go ahead and click on next. Um, okay, now it says verify columns. Here are all the columns that we generated. If we missed any columns, simply select a cell in that column and click add column. Now in this situation, we didn't miss any. All right, so um, we're good. We're not missing any. So for example, if there was data here and it didn't pick it up, we would have, clicked on it and said, go ahead and add that column. So we're good here. So I'm going to click next. Okay, now it says, hey, we want to do an assisted detail verify. We're here to help you verify your data as quickly as possible, quickly and easily as possible. Select any row that's missing. Now, as I briefly scan through this, it looks pretty good. We're not missing anything, but it's picking up some rows that I don't want. So it says here, similarly, select any erroneously trapped row, so any row that you don't want. So for example, I don't want this line that has got these like the totals. I don't really want it, right? I want to be able to calculate my totals myself. So I click on line 25 and I say, you know what, go ahead and exclude the selected row. There it is. Okay, so far so good. All right, we're going to click on next. Okay, and then now here's maybe not the cool part, but here's a fun part. It says, hey, um, define and append. So select a cell that contains append data and click. So append data is usually something that's not in your detail. So in this example here, if I wanted the contact, right, if I wanted to capture the contact, I could right click on this. I would click on this cell and I would say, hey, go ahead and define the pen, and it's going to capture that. I don't have any headers to apply, so I guess I could click on the cell here and say apply header. Okay, okay, and that does that as well. And then if I click on, we have applied the like name if you're right. So if I click next, okay, so far so good. If I click next, and then finally it asks me, hey, usually that you people have more appends. So some sheets have more than one append that describes the data. Do you have more appends to capture? And I say yes, I've got one more, which is the account data over here. Okay, so I click on this cell and I say, and it says go ahead and define the append. It's going to cap, that's the account number. And then I click on this cell and I say apply the headers. Okay, there you go. All right, so I click next. Okay, and nothing's missing. Everything looks good. I click next. Everything looks good. I say have no more data I want to append. Well, I guess I could capture the to date. Let's capture one of these dates. So I click yes, and I right click or I click on this cell and I define the append. Okay, so it's capturing that one. And I click on the to and I click on apply header. All right. I could also change it, right? So I could click on the pencil here and I could say this is the to date. All right. And then I click next. I click next, everything looks good, nothing else to do here. And then I click, do you have any more things? And I say no, and I say finish. And there it is. So it's all done. Now I want to show you very quickly how I know Monarch was capturing the data for um, the detail. So these are all the templates that are capturing the data. If I go to that back to that detail, now as I make changes, now it says the logic, the trap is over here. So if I click on traps, um, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Uh, so look at this one over here. So if I click on this pencil, it's looking at column D. All right, so you see there's, all right, column D is a number. Okay, that's fine. And then let's look at this one. This one here is looking at this trap to say, hey, column F has to be a number as well. Okay, oops. And then if I look at column B, it's looking at an alignment trap. You know, it's aligned and it looks like it's uh, probably right aligned. So it studied the spreadsheet, created these traps. You can create them yourself, but we don't have to, cover that right now as we're just getting exposure to how this works. But that's how it works here, and you're able to capture all the rows and information you want. Okay, we're all done here. I go ahead and I hit accept. Okay, that's the sheet name. That's fine. I don't need to change it. I click OK, and there it is, all imported. Oh, look at that. It looks like I forgot something. It looks like, wait a second, there are some additional lines being picked up that I don't want. No problem. I can go back and fix that. I could click on the drop down here and go to edit in worksheet design. I could alternatively come down here and click on it here. It'll take me back the same way. So if I click on edit in worksheet design, if I want to be on detail, and usually you are by default, if I scroll down, I'll see one of those lines that's being picked up that I don't want. So I can click on that line 37, and say, you know what, go ahead and exclude that row. Okay, and then I also want to click on line 35 because it's got totals again, and I say, you know what, I'm going to exclude that row as well. There we go. And you see it added more traps based on that, as I was telling it more what else to exclude. So I hit accept, I click OK, and there we go. My table is nice and clean. Now that's how you import data using the worksheet design. And same thing before, when you want to plug in a new file, you just do edit all file path like we've done before. If I were to use the Microsoft Excel option, it is not as robust. But let's just take a look at it and just see how we would do it. So if I dragged in the spreadsheet and I click no, and I click load selected, it's going to bring in the spreadsheet, looking like this. Um, now, if I just want to grab the raw data, I could do that, right? So I could clean it up. I could say, you know what? Go ahead and filter here for, um, whoops, I'm sorry. I would do, hey, give me everything that is not null in column F3. Okay. Then over here, give me everything that is not null in column F4. So I go to define filter, multiple selection. Oh, I'm sorry, not multiple selection. Is not null. Okay. And then I need to filter out this media. So then I can click on the drop down again for column F3 and say, multiple selection. And I could type media and say anything that has media, go ahead and exclude it. Okay. All right. I click OK. There it is. And then I could delete these columns here, and these other columns. Um, and then I could manually type the headers. So I think this one was media. I think this one was quantity. I think this one was the description. And then this is the amount. Okay, and then I would convert these to be number. So not bad, not bad. However, it's missing some of that information that we were able to capture in the append, right? Like and there was probably some other stuff we could have captured, but like the ship date, the date, um, the contact, the account number, it's very difficult to capture all of that information that's in append. If it's all if this is all I want for this scenario, not bad. But as you saw, or maybe as you can see, the worksheet design is so much better because it's built for capturing data from these types of spreadsheets. Okay, that's it. All right, so we've walked through the 7 different scenarios of these different spreadsheets and how you can import them into the Data Prep Studio. And that really matters, right? It really matters because if you are not aware of all the options, and what we'll do next is kind of summarize them, kind of the differences between them, but it's very important that you are able to see all the different options you have for importing spreadsheets. Okay, all right, so I'm going to quickly recap all the different scenarios, and then after that, we'll do some exercises. Okay, awesome.